Lower bands touch NQ on the 39. Fib.NQ on the 4.
Mic check, mic check. 1, 2. Good morning, good morning. It is Friday, 9:03 a.m. Getting the charts loaded up here. And it is Full Auto Friday. Let's get to it. All right, what does Full Auto Friday mean? Well, let's zoom back here and let's go to the full screen and walk through. We like to book in the week with beginner stuff on Mondays and walking through kind of beginner, getting set up, getting installed, you know, welcome aboard. Where do you need to get going to get started with our system? It only takes 40 days, in my opinion, to get fully loaded into our system. And we have consolidated that into 8 videos, 8 training videos where we did an 8-day boot camp crash course. And that is available right now for free on the website until February the 1st. Today is the 23rd. So you still have about a week to get that going. So perfect time this weekend to get started with the 8-day boot camp. Last time it will be free. It's going to run around $299 after that. So make sure if you want to get it for free on me, go grab it right now. So let's talk about Full Auto. Now, the Enigma system is kind of my personal favorite to run on Full Auto. I will be doing more in-depth studies around the Super AO this year. You might be seeing us in probably around June of this year, the summertime. I will have completed enough details where we might be running the secondary inside of the Platinum system. Remember, this is for Platinum members only normally. However, if you're getting in on the Dream Pack, if you have the Dream Pack, we did have this Platinum component included. Now, Platinum members have more dual robot automated systems available to them, but some people for well, we got a lot of feedback when we had released this component that was Platinum members only. It was like, hey, I don't really necessarily want all of the other strategies, but is there some way that I can do an upgrade, you know, somewhere in the middle there rather than go full Platinum, which is very expensive? Can I get the Dream Pack? Can I get that panel? How much is there some in between costs there? So if you guys have seen the Dream Pack offers there, that is including this entire panel that will run both Enigma and Super AO. Now, we don't talk about this feature too terribly much here because I personally don't run it as of right now. I've just kind of gotten, I don't want to say if I'd say lazy, I would say more complacent, and I'm satisfied with my results coming out of running with Enigma only. So you'll see me all the time. You'll hear me say arm long, arm short, Enigma, full auto on, right? So I'll go arm long, arm short, full auto, Enigma on right there. This is my normal kind of setup for my instruments as I'm getting going on pretty much every morning there. But on a Friday today, we're going to go zoom in a little bit more on full auto. We're going to talk about optimization, the optimization process, how I come up with that and how that works, how that optimization gets loaded up. And I send you guys the settings for Monday, how you get your parameters changed and things like that. We'll talk about that today as well around 10 a.m. So here this morning, I'm just getting loaded up across my instruments that I'm going to be running them on. So up here at the top left of my screen, again, you don't have to set yours up this way, but if you want to grab my workspace, you can do that in the community workspaces inside of Discord on the left-hand side. If you scroll down a bit, you'll see community workspaces. So up here at the top left, I've got my 6 instruments that I'm going to run full auto the Enigma system on. And if you want to screenshot my settings here, I'm going to pause this here real quick for this section. So if you want to grab my RTY, Dow, crude oil, and gold, take a screenshot of this right here. if you want to set yours up this weekend, or if you want to set it up here this morning on, maybe run it through your sim here this morning if you're not, fully comfortable with our system yet, or if you just want to adjust and make your settings changes. I still, again, always make sure you're running through simulated environments to test it out, to see if this is something you want to be able to put risk capital on. That is up to you. So here is the left side. So I run this across what I call the nerd. That is NASDAQ, ES, RTY, and the Dow. So when you hear me around here referring to oftentimes the nerd, these are the correlated instruments that I want to know, hey, where is the rest of my crew going? If I'm trading the NASDAQ, because you'll see me doing that a lot in my discretionary and cyborg trading right here on the NASDAQ, I still want to know what the brothers are doing over here at any given moment. And if I am riding with the tide of all of them, then my trades, generally speaking, will be bigger and better. So why not? Who doesn't want bigger and better, right? All right, so NASDAQ, if I'm gonna run the NASDAQ, I wanna know what the ERD is also doing. So I run the nerd +2 on full auto. What's the +2? +2 is right over here, crude oil and gold. Okay, so I'm rounding out a set of 6 here on the live streams. Okay, now you don't have to just do 6. You can add some more in there. Oftentimes, well, it's been pretty slow recently on the 6s, but I also like to, on occasion, run in the 6A, the 6E, and the 6J. What are those? That is sort of the Forex market. Forex has become, well, almost obsolete. I don't know too many more people running the Forex anymore. There's so many advantages to running futures. I'm going to go ahead and click through here on all my buttons. It is 9:09. So coming up on 9:10, I want to be running my full auto system here, about 30 minutes before the US Open for me. You can go up to an hour, in my opinion, before the US market open. Does pretty well with those enigmas, and you can backtest that yourself. Start our 2-week free trial there, and you can see that for yourself. Just run it back, look to the left, and also pay attention to our cadence strategy training videos as you are going through the premium member training to kind of maybe see for yourself and some of the talkthroughs of the enigma particularly. And we'll be having some more of that around the Super AO as I start to do some more intensive studies around the Super AO. Now, you guys see me take Super AOs here in the live streams all the time, but one of those things that you need to find out are, well, what parameters do I want to be running on a Super AO, for instance, if I'm going to run it on full auto. Now, I've got my number set a little low here. What you'll notice is I am showing a 5.2. Now, how many of you guys right now in the public chat, and I know people are kind of still coming in here, a lot of people don't show up till around 9:30 right at the US Open, because quite frankly, with AlgoBox does all the work for you, so you can kind of become a little bit more of a lazy trader to allow the tools to do the work, and you just come in and execute. So you don't have to do a lot of prep work with our system. It's not like, I need to do a ton of drawing lines and all that kind of stuff that is traditional of trading, because my high time frames are kind of done for me. This is the done for you type of trading style here. We've got systems that will draw up my technical analysis for me. Like, it's already drawing me up ahead of time where are those zones going to be. Now, I know no dog on the people who still do, let me do the nighttime routines and the preps before and all that kind of stuff. But my system just kind of does it for me. I will know where those harmonic patterns are going to show up here. I will see them ahead of time. So if they are yellow, like we have here, that is a PPRZ. What is a PPRZ? This may be a new concept to you. Sorry, I'll get back to my question here for you guys here in just a moment. But PPRZ, this is a potential, potential reversal zone. Wow, my brain is not working here this morning. This is like before the PRZ shows up. This is the pre-potential reversal zone. There's another name for this. Wow, it has been quite a week. We had to take a day off yesterday, working with the family on some things and working a lot of stuff with our client portal folks. Anyway, this is the PPRZ. It's showing it to you before it gets there. Many harmonic systems will show you hindsight and show you after the fact when a PRZ arrives. but this is the, man, I'm really going blank on this. The potential reversal zone, but there is a precursor to that. We're showing it to you ahead of time. Anyhow, wow, I'm going blank. I'm still, can you guys type me in the chat? What is the name of our predicted, thank you, predicted potential reversal zone? So we are predicting where it's going to be before it gets there. Sorry about that. I got my coffee right here. I am going to be digging in, but it has been poured, but I have not quite had a sip yet. It is still early pre-market here, so sorry about that. Give me a little break there, but that is, wow, Vinny, you need to wake up there, bruh. Okay, let's put that away. I was going to ask you guys if you have 5s on your AOs. If you have 5s right now on your AOs, type a 1 in the chat. 2 if you do not. And this is a setting that I have changed out of the box, or outside of the out of box settings. So if you have installed the 2-week free trial, you'll have this layout. If you want to go to the reduced workspace, a light workspace, this is the 3 chart, what I call the flag layout there. Kind of looks like a flag with the 3 chart layout. But if you are on your lower time frame area here, or actually anywhere, do you see anything 5s? I wouldn't say below that because I think I have my number set right at 5. But I'm going to go into my indicator settings here. The market is running a little slow here this morning, so I should be fine with going into my indicators without locking up the system. Now, I don't recommend you going and modifying and changing system settings or indicator settings while the market is moving really hot. When the market is going really fast, you've got a lot of calculations going on your charts internally that you don't want to have lock up. So I wouldn't recommend coming in here and playing around with indicator settings while the market is moving. Disconnect your data feed before you come in here and make any changes. But let's go in here to the we're not doing a harmonic. We want to go to the alpha omega crosses, and I'll show you my current settings for the tuning. Now, my tuning, this is the number that I'm talking about right here. See how my low threshold value on the low strength threshold is set to 5. This is why my chart is showing 5s. If yours is not, you might want to check this setting here this morning. On my lower time frames, I lower this. Now, if I go to super low, if I'm down on like the 1s or 2s, I leave this at 10. So yours out of the box should be set to 10. However, if you're using my current workspace, or if you're kind of going, I want to match up my settings with Vinny, we get this, this is pretty common FAQ around here where people come in and say, hey, what are the threshold values that Vinny has? Because I'm not seeing the same crosses that he shows on the live stream. This is one of those that you'll learn how to tune yourself. As of right now, I have found I'm pretty settled on when I'm running on the 4s or above, I will set this to 5. Now, if I'm on the 1s, 2s, or 3s, 1, 2, 3, okay, of the algo bar sizes, 1, 2, and 3, I set this higher up to around 10. Sometimes I adjust to an 8, depending on what I see to the left of those pivots. Now, this is a nod to my buddy Joseph James over there. He was doing a great training last night. He does do a nightly routine, so if you are looking for someone to go and follow along with a nightly routine, we're going to draw up your charts still and look for zones for the next day and all that kind of stuff. He's a great mentor to have, so make sure and go give him a follow over there, and he'll do a nightly routine almost every night that he puts his stuff out there. But he had noticed, he mentioned one of the really great pivots that he had in his trade room with his members. He said, AlgoBox didn't have a alpha omega cross there on what he kind of called a V down scenario. And I'd like to, I don't know if he has, sometimes he comes and watches my videos there. What he might want to do is go and adjust this number, because that probably means he has this number set too high. Now, again, out of the box, it's probably set to 10. This is where, though, sometimes you're going to see some important insights by dropping this number, because this is a filtering number and it may have been there. So instead of it being a 10, it might have been like an 8 or 8.9, maybe a 9. But if you've got it set to 10, you're going to miss out on those pivot turns that may show up that you're not seeing because of this number right here. Now, there's not a lot of settings that you have to tweak in our system, because I know a lot of systems in full auto, there's a ton to change. That's the beauty of AlgoBox. We do a lot of that for you. We run the optimizations for you on Monday, send the settings over to you, and our system internally optimizes every 4 minutes for you as well. So a lot of things you don't have to do, but this is one that you still don't have to do. You're not required to. You can set it to 10 and you can still get some really great plays here. But a lot of these AOs right now that are on my own screen here, you're not going to see right now if you've got out of the box set to 10, right? So for instance, obviously you'll see this one. In fact, if you look on your chart right now, almost everybody here has this pivot on your chart if you are on the AlgoBox 4s. So I'm on the 4s here right now, and you will see this probably 11.1. Yours might say 10, but it's going to be 10 or 11, maybe 12 there, right here at 7:08 a.m. So if you look at the time, I don't think it's showing up on my screen here. Let me move this up here for you. So at 7:08 this morning, you will see, everybody should see this one. However, you see this nice pivot drop right here on that Super AO down. You may not have this one. This is a common thing if you are using our settings out of the box, and you might change a few things, but you may not know if you haven't gotten to this part in the training, because this is around video maybe 30. So it's deep dive in the premium members area. Unless you go seek this out, this is called AO tuning. You'll hear me talk about AO tuning. So I want to tune my alpha omegas. What does that mean? So this is a scenario where I want to change that threshold value to show me, remember, out of the box, it's going to be set to 10 for a filter. I want to see 10 levels or higher, but right now on mine, I have them set to 5 as I move up in the algo bar sizes, because I still see important levels on NQ. And this may be different depending on whether you're looking at an ES or a NASDAQ, RTY, or a Dow, or crude oil, or gold. Your instrument of choice. A lot of traders trading gold right now. The gold is on the move. A lot of gold bugs cranking. That is one of my long-term holds that I'm keeping an eye on. We're almost at $5,000 an ounce on gold. Did it ever cross that? We're sitting at 49.49 right now this morning. I like to keep an eye on my on my long-term hold gold. Let me look back here and see, did we cross 5,000, or are we kind of probably bumping our head against that? It's a big mercy number there mentally for traders. I think 5,000 is probably pretty big. Yeah, it looks like we've been hanging right underneath 5,000. That's going to be a big psychological level for the gold. Now, that 6.8, I want to see that, and this is where that tuning comes in. I'll give you kind of the basics of the Alpha Omega tuning video just right now. I will set that to a very low number to tune, so I might set it all the way down to like a 2, and then I may get too many of them, and then I'll look to the left and I'll look like, okay, well, what number right now during the current market conditions is calling really good pivots? Like, how much bid-ask volume battle, because that's what these AOs are showing, how much of that battle is necessary to make a turn? Because we're traders and we like to find pivots, right? Let's just be honest. We want to find a good pivot. Even if you are a continuation trader, you want to trade in the direction of a trend, but you want to pull back. Well, a pullback is what? A pullback is still a pivot. So people argue with me all the time when I say, because I just try to simplify things. A lot of people like to make things more complicated. I like to simplify things. I want to have the complexity of having the advantage of the complex, but I want to be able to simply execute. So I call that simplexity. I want to know, where's the pivot? That's it. We're looking for pivots. Where do I want to enter to make my move? Because I don't want to take heat, because if you call a perfect pivot, then you have no heat. If you think about that concept as well, I want low heat and I want to get to my target as quickly as possible. I feel like that's kind of intraday traders dream, right? That's our job, is to find those pivots that goes to our target with the least amount of heat or no heat, right? That's the ideal. So this one, can you see how this has like no heat for the short? That 11.11 that everybody has on their chart right now, because that is a higher than a 10, you have this, but you may not have this. So to get this is AO tuning. So I might set this all the way down to a 2, but then I might see too much noise, right? I might see one right here, and maybe right here, and maybe right here, maybe right in the middle here, and maybe just be all over the place. So what I want to do then now is go, well, what number do I want to see? As of right now, I want the 5s, because I have seen 5s and above, or yeah, above that, to be important for pivot turns. And I can see that right here. So after I already have this one, and I drop that number down to like a 2, that's where I go, okay, I start really low, and then I kind of notch my way up until I find the bingo number, where I'm like, this is what I want to set my number to, because I can see the pivots that are turning, and I don't want to see the others, right? So I don't want to see a 4, like, and I have to make that decision. This is one of the few things that my system is not going to do for you. I don't want to see a 4. Do I want to see 3s? No, I don't want to see 3s. How about 2s? No, I don't want to see 2s. Definitely don't want to see 1s. Too small. See my point? So that's how I decide on this. And again, we're just going over a little bit more of the detail stuff here on a Friday. We'll go into advanced level things, and you know, kind of nerd out on Fridays. And so thanks for bearing with me on that little kind of, I guess, long-winded explanation of what the AOs are. But I want people to know how the system works, how the sausage is made around here. I'm just a nerd at heart. Sometimes I might get into the weeds with you guys, especially on a Friday. If you want to come back for kind of beginner level stuff, come here on Monday. So we'd love to have you back on Monday. Make sure you have hit subscribe, and do me a favor, hit that like button for us here on this live stream here, and we'll get going here this morning. If you got questions, pop them there in the chat. Am I prepared for the ice storm? That was one of the main things that I was getting ready for yesterday with my family. We kind of did the whole, you know, grocery store run. A lot of people around here in Texas are doing that. I think all around the U.S. That's happening. It was pretty interesting. Well, we're at the Walmart near our church, and it was like, wow, this is wild. We ended up making a secondary trip over to the neighborhood Walmart near our home, and surreal, watching biblical, you know, events unfold with Trump administrations and Board of Peace and all these things that are happening on the global scale, and then locally, you know, seeing the runs to the grocery stores, and you know, shelves being emptied and all that kind of stuff's been a little bit wild to see. You ever run the bots all day? So, I mean, I have in sim and in practice, but learned the zone where the ideal is, and I'm going to run the ideal. In the same way, how I pick a time or a place for me to trade. Why do I trade a particular time of day? Well, I want to maximize my time use and my risk. When you have trades open in the market, that's your risk, right? Risk on. We're paid to put on risk, right? Speaking of, this might be a good spot here for a short. We've got a power PRZ cross here. Market opens here in about 4 minutes. Remind me at 10 a.m. I'm going to go ahead and put a note here I'm going to show you today how to pick your time when to run. And we're going to use data to make that decision, running a automated backtest or an optimization run or a walk forward. You know, you can take your pick. If you already know your settings and you're going to do your walk forward because you've already run your bow. So in my methodology, I have something called the bow. Now, kind of everybody does this, but I just like, take a bow. Okay, so take a bow. What does that mean? How many of you guys remember this one? Can you guys type it out? What is BOW? What does that stand for? If you've been through our training, you might know. Again, this is getting into the deep weeds of things. You don't have to know these things because this is stuff that I've already done for you. But this is backtest, optimize, walk forward. And if you're super into it, you'll also know bow M, right? Bow to the M, if you will. No, we ain't bowing to nobody but the good Lord above. But the bow M methodology, what is that? Backtest, optimize, walk forward, and Monte Carlo. That's right, Monte Carlo, to make sure that you are not curve fitting, right? So during that process, we also find the time window. When are the best trades? When is the most maximum amount of profit, least amount of heat? And, you know, and you can optimize for multiple things. I like to optimize for net profit, because for, well, I mean, that is kind of the default standard. Everybody wants to go, well, what's my net? What makes the most amount of money? But at the same time, you also kind of curve that with, you know, with how much heat does that take? So taking those things into account, right here at the open line, I'd love to slap at this, but I'm not. I'm hearing buyers on the tape. We have red over here. We have red step 1 on the nerd, red nerd, currently green arrow on my NASDAQ, but this is setting up right here at the open for a potential short here this morning, right around the open. But the open line, too many people, too many hands jump in right here at the stash line. So it looks like we are literally going to open here this morning in 1 minute 15 seconds right at the open line from the overnight open. So that's what that line represents. Let me launch up Financial Juice here. We'll have the audio. Looks like we have, oh, we have 9:45 news. We have red news at 9:45. Oof, I do not like days where they drop that right there at that time. I'm going to refresh Financial Juice here, and there we go. Okay, we'll get audio news coming through here as well. Let's get to it. Market is going to open here any minute at 10 a.m. We'll go through some of that full auto teaching and training. I like to sit on my hands for the first 5 minutes and let the full auto systems do their work. And yeah, but you know, that's the standard operating procedure. If an absolutely perfect play shows up, I will take a play. I don't like to take trades around this zone here. So I'd like the price to get away from this area, ideally. But here we go. Market is about to open here in about 10 seconds. Oftentimes we get that wild child movement here at the open. Let's see what the open brings on the high time frame. On the 89s, we're sitting right in the golden ropes of safety here for the big players. So let's see.
NASDAQ 100, buy side 24 million, Algo, sell side 43 million, buy side 27 million.
On the 39, fib.nq on the upper bands touch NQ on the 39 on the
okay, that's a level 10.2. I'm going to sell that half position here.
Fib.nq on the 39, Enigma long on the NQ4.
Got an Enigma that's dangerous. Let's see if I can get a 20 bag out of it. We just went green on the nerd.
NQ on the 4.
There's a pink dot. Here in buyers are coming back to my POE. I'm gonna half at my POE here.
Double delta NQ on the 39.
Okay, we're coming down for here sellers. I might add. Let's see. Need to hear sellers before I can jump on that. Got a
Enigma long on the NQ4.
Oof, it's 2 Enigmas long here. Almost 3 in this area. Back to neutral, back to red. Okay. I'm gonna go back to half my position one more time.
Enigma long on the NQ4.
If I start to hear buyers, I'll have to kill it and take a loss here. Sitting at neutral on the nerd. Are we going to make that turn? Add on the 6.2. Nope. Here's the buyers. Shoot. Should have held. All right, 5.2. Adding one, maybe one more time here. Let's see.
Fib.nq on the 4.
Headshot, power headshot short. Take off my markers here. It's distracting.
Upper bands touch NQ on the 30.
And my finger over the half. Okay, I'm going to half up as we come back to my POE because I am half as confident in that play as it worked against me where I originally wanted to enter. We still have red on the nerd.
Touch NQ on the 89. Enigma long on the NQ.
Man, another Enigma showing up right here to the long side. I might be on the wrong side here.
15% on the
Holding out for that nerd.
forecast.
Want to hear some sellers, maybe.
Estimates in the earnings
Where there's 100 ticks. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close out there for 100 ticks. They're all the way down from that headshot. Headshot was the best play. I started getting in right here. This was kind of the signal. I got a 6.6 to a 10.2. Oftentimes those are pivots. If we look to the left, remember that 11 that we just talked about there this morning was the best pivot, and level 11 was enough to really crank the market down. Another over here, level 10, enough to really shove it down. 11, that has been, you know, kind of a recent number for me. We got off of that open line and we came up fast, so I don't think it's going to last. Big move up into this area. Well, you know, getting away from the open line, also using that open line as a magnet to kind of suck it back down to that area. So just had a feeling that that might be the play. Enigmas still making their pay to the long side. Wouldn't fault you if you had decided to go ahead and go with those Enigmas up and grab a couple of bags there. But remember, we did have red on the nerd a couple of times there. So still tried to hang on to my short there, and it definitely paid off there. Trade number one for 3,900. Trade number one. On a Friday, we also like to get early in, early out. Like to go on about our business, and Fridays can oftentimes be tricky trading as well. Again, if you are a brand new trader, I do not recommend trying to put your risk capital on a Friday. On Fridays, just they can be trickier. A lot of adjustments to a lot of players and hands looking into the weekends, pre-weekend stuff can be even more wild than normal. Now that can be an advantage to you as well. Just depends on your own risk tolerance and how good you get at the game. Now, AlgoBox is kind of a cheat for the game, so it can be elusive where
Two finger NQ on the 39.
I mean, our system is so good now. I can probably, even on Fridays, you can come to the market anytime, in my opinion, with AlgoBox. If you don't have AlgoBox, man, I would you need to be very careful playing Fridays if you don't have AlgoBox, in my opinion. Just one man's opinion. I did not get the chat on screen here earlier this morning. Let's do that.
Fib.NQ on the 9.
There we go. Yeah, and thanks for that question, to the moon 888 and 10 o'clock. I'm going to walk through the bow methodology and show you some of that here today. Good morning. I see a lot of folks saying good morning there. Was deep into
52 spot 5.
Some thought there this morning.
Forecast is 52 on the prior 51 spot.
I did not get to say good morning to folks. And personal assessment, I'm definitely feeling a little tired here this morning on a Friday.
Fib.NQ on the
And I got my coffee in hand here after that first trade, and we're floating here at the open. What I kind of call the nopen. Right? Nope. Why do I call it the nope? Well, I don't want to trade here. And this is, if you take the in and you stick it at the end, you have the open. All right, so around that open line, I really don't like to take trades. Too many hands start to play in here in some bad ways, some tricky ways. So let them have their battles around that area. Great play setups can just get ruined in this space.
Lower bands touch NQ on the 39.
PMI 945. Yeah, I hate it when they drop it right there, but that is another odd thing that's going to be coming out here in now less than 10 minutes. But thank you for that reminder, Tom. Let's not let me forget that as we come up on it. And 10 minutes feels like an eternity sometimes in our video game here, and I can sometimes forget. And I can just tell you, especially today, I'm definitely feeling a little tired here this morning. So thank goodness for... Oh man, voice news disconnected. Financial Juice having some issues there this morning.
Upper bands touch NQ on the 39.
So again, on a Friday, I want to be early in, early out. Double delta shift reversal. Could be a reversal right here, back down. Let's see. It's a P point. Oh, we're so close to that open line. I want to get this short. I'm hearing buyers on the tape. I need to hear the buyers step off. If I hear sellers step in here, that will confirm that I can get a short right here. There is a J hook potential.
Upper bands touch NQ on the 39.
Just don't like that open line area. All right, yeah, would have been a beautiful one. That could have been a beautiful trade number 2. I wouldn't fault you if you went ahead and grabbed that double delta shift reversal. So DDSR, that is a DDSR right there. Double delta shift. Now, if you read very closely, you'll see on those yellows, it says delta shift, okay? And when they're super close together like that, I usually like to grab a reversal. Yeah, sure enough, look at that. Beautiful. Ah, I hesitated because of it sitting right there at the open line, but that was a beautiful play there to call that pivot. Beautiful. Then you got a short Enigma shortly thereafter, right there, 14.3 short. Could have added in on that one. I just wasn't ready on the trigger on that one, so woulda, shoulda, coulda. Beautiful plays right there, just around that open line. It was a nope. I was trying to be disciplined, follow my standard operating procedure rules around that open line, not take one. And again, if I in the day at 3,900, I'm happy to be there right close to my kind of mental 4K target on a Friday. Particularly like to be early in, early out. We have news coming up here at a weird time. Normally it's not going to be till 10 a.m. So a little bit of that weighing on my mind going, you know, I want to kind of manage my risk there, and risk to reward ratios. I want to make sure I've got that locked in. Good morning, Diego. But I would definitely say I missed out on that, because I mean, it was so easy. It wasn't even like it happened super fast. That was, it just, I mean, it just sat there for a minute waiting for me, and I didn't pull the trigger because we're sitting at the open line. But beautiful DDSR. That drop, let's move, let's get the measure on that, see what that move was like. 229 ticks. Oh man, FOMO, missed out on that one. 229 ticks for the drop on the DDSR.
Fib.NQ.
Okay, do we have the nerd and the arrow? We currently do. Double red dot. This might be a continuation drop here, but the dots are kind of stacking up in this little zone. Let's see where we go here. Currently, nope, now we got green arrow. I'll wait for that arrow to go red. There we go. Now we have the red arrow as well. I'm hearing sellers.
PMI, S&P PMI, January prelim numbers coming.
5 minutes before this news.
PMI forecast 52 on the prior 51 spot 8, with a range of 52 spot 7 to 48 spot 1. Services forecast 52 spot 9 on the prior 52 spot 5, with a range of 54 to 52 spot 5, and composite forecast 53 on the prior 52 spot 7.
I think it was your internet. Now it looks like Financial Juice went out for a moment, and then looks like they reconnected. So yeah, I had that as well. So I definitely think it was them. Brian, anyone else keep buffering on the live stream?
Divergence down NQ on the 9.
Is the YouTube live stream, anybody else having issues on the buffering? I see one member saying something, and we did have
NQ on the 9.
No, it works fine here. Okay, cool.
Upper band.
It's not universal. Oh man, that's a super dot short right here. Okay, we could grab a short here. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the risk here on it. Stop above the dot, so we'll be invalidated above that dot. But this is a super dot short here. Came up fast. We have a level 8 super AO on the 9s. There's a dot I'll add to position. There's a cipher HMD with a short. Are we still red? We are. We've got red and red. Okay, I've got my two filters, two-step filter here. I'm hearing a little buying right here. It makes me a little nervous. Back to neutral. Okay, I've lost the red nerd. They might be shifting here. Yikes, Enigma pulling it up here. News still in 3 minutes. That is a level 10-9. Okay, another super AO. Okay, I'm going to go all in right here. double delta shift 4.3 on the high time frame. Higher time frame risk though. Always on top here. Okay, we came back to my POE. I need a half. I need to take half of my. Oof, missed my. Okay, sorry, I can't walk and chew bubblegum here at the same time this morning. Not reacting fast enough. I need to add to position on that ready DD. We are right here before the news, so I do need to keep that in mind. Let's see, 4.3 Super AO, double ready DD.
Fib.NQ
To neutral. There's a green dot, could be taking some profits there at the P point and the green dot.
Fib.NQ on the 30.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take half of my profits there at the P point. Does it have any left? We're neutral. There we go. Beautiful. Hold to the opposing signal on a Super AO. Let's go. All right, right before the bell. All right, that's a good one to wake you up right there. So started there, added there, boom on the drop. Holding to the opposing signal, working it. That's
long on the NQ3.
That feels good. Beautiful. Again, 10.9, right? So if you did not have, let's say that you didn't make any adjustments to the Super AO this morning, right? When we talked about the 5s deal, like the tuning this morning, 10 would have been fine, right? 10 is literally calling perfect pivots. Look back to the left. How do we know? Go through the AO system. So you would have missed this one. Okay, but maybe you wanted to miss that one. That was some of the heat from this morning. We got this one, right? That one literally kind of began this whole dropout at level 10. What was it? We knew that from the morning. Because again, level 10/11, you know, 10, 11. Big pivots, okay? Already kind of gave us the tuning. So would have been fine if you were on the 10s, but I still liked a little bit more information there. I want to see some more of those AOs, so you don't have to do that. If you want to change your setting out of the box, there's a nice, beautiful power headshot right there that you would have missed as well. 20 seconds to the news. All right, let's listen in. PMI coming out here. Careful, if you're not in a trade, I wouldn't enter into one right now. 15 seconds from some crazy news release here. All right, here goes. Big news coming. Let's see.
51 spot 9, 51 spot 9, lower than forecast.
Mega late Nate.
Services 52 spot 5.
Beautiful.
5, lower than forecast 52 spot 9. And composite 52 spot 8, 52 spot 8, lower than forecast 53.
Okay. That sound means we are spider webbing on the 9s. So be very careful right here. Okay. A lot of clustering. We got spider webbing coming in on the 9s on that MACV chart. Be very careful. I'm gonna get a coffee reheat real quick here, and I'm gonna be talking a lot with you guys here at 10 a.m. So rather than take my 10 a.m. spot, I'm going to take a minute here to reheat my coffee. Oof, lots of this coming in here.
Fib.NQ on the 4.
Okay, I'm gonna flatten the bots.
Fib.NQ on the 4.
They were right around 500 moments ago, but they had gone into the red. I'm gonna close them up at break even here on the bots. I know there's news at 10 a.m. as well. I just don't want to keep that risk on. I'm gonna turn full auto off here. We ran it through the morning right there in front of that news, but I'm going to go ahead and pull it. We'll talk more about that here at 10 a.m. and we talk more about full auto and risk and why you don't just leave your system on all day, all that kind of stuff. I'll be right back.
New year compared to the hotter pace indicated back in the fall. They say that the survey is signaling annualized GDP growth of 1.5% for both December and January, and a worryingly subdued rate of new business growth across manufacturing and services adds further to signs that first quarter growth could disappoint.
Lower bands touch NQ on the 4. NQ on the 4. Lower bands touch NQ on the 39. Divergence up NQ on the 9. Lower bands touch NQ on the 39. Double delta NQ on the 4. Lower bands touch NQ on the 39. Double delta NQ on the 4. Lower bands touch NQ on the 39. Lower bands touch NQ on the 39. Fib.NQ lower bands touch NQ on the 39. Double delta NQ on the 4. Double delta NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 4. Fib.NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 39. Divergence up NQ on the 9. Medium impact news event revised UOM consumer sentiment. Low impact news
It's been
event
10 minutes
revised
time now at
UOM
the top of the
inflation
hour with the
expectations.
University of Michigan January final sentiment survey. So the sentiment final forecast 54 on the prior 54 with a range of 55 to 53 spot 5. 1 year inflation forecast 4 spot 2% from the prior 4 spot 2. 5 year forecast 3 spot 4% on the prior 3 spot 4. Expectations forecast 55 unchanged from the prior, and conditions forecast 52 spot 3 from 52 spot 4.
Fib.NQ on the 4. Fib.NQ on the 4. Double delta NQ on the 4. DCDM NQ on the 4. DCDM NQ on the 4. Upper bands touch NQ on the 39. Double delta NQ on the 4. Upper bands touch NQ on the 39. Fib.NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 4.
All right, we got more news, I think, coming out here at 10 a.m. in 8 minutes.
Double delta
and
39.
Looking at the high time frame after that move, well, I wouldn't say a move. After that volatility, we are coiled up here on the golden ropes of safety, so they're still sticking here for the moment. I just saw a big bull step in here. I want to mark that and give our estimation. We want to go 250 ticks above that. That is a 1,000 level bull. Can we get some bull emote icons in the chat, please? Find the bull emote icon. Did I say emote icon? Yes, find the bull emote icon here in the chat, and let's mark up that big bull. Yeah, big bull on the 4s. And I will use that to put it on our chart here as well. Where did that begin? Oh, right here at the open line. Okay, so a big guy stepped here right at the open line. I have a feeling this might indicate that we have about a 250 tick run up above us, which could be fun if we can catch it. Let's see. Let's see if they accumulate a little bit more. Okay, so the spacing is right about here. I like to go to the middle of it. And then I want to go 250 ticks above for the estimated target, where like kind of their minimum before they start taking profits is about that 250 tick mark. We have seen that many times. Oops, I just did the wrong color. That's all right. We'll just swap these out. Okay, so we know there's the big bull right here. Squeeze him in. He kind of ends there. And then we want to duplicate this. And that 250 area is up here.
ES1.
All right, thanks for the bull emote icons there. I'm going to grab those and we're going to put them on the chart for fun. Press F11 for a nice little label. Oops, I'm sorry, F12.
NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 4.
In 5 minutes time now at the top of the hour, get the University of Michigan a January final sentiment survey. Sentiment forecast 54, unchanged from the prior, with a range of 55 to 53.5. 1 year inflation forecast 4.2% on the prior 4.2. 5 year inflation forecast to remain unchanged at 3.4%. The conditions final forecast 52.3 from at 52.4, and expectations forecast to remain unchanged at 55. Also do get the US leading index data. So we get the headline number, which will be released on the calendar. That's for November. So forecast of minus 0.2%. With this, though, at least at the same time, we'll get the release of the October leading index as well.
Fib.NQ on the 4. Fib.NQ on the 9.
Brian, coffee time, yeah. All right, 2 minutes. I'm sorry, no, 4 minutes.
Upper bands touch NQ on double delta and double delta upper bands.
All right, so I'm gonna. So mentally, I'm thinking. So I'm 2 trades in. If you guys would like a link to the trade tracker, I'll grab that here and post it in the chat. There's a link to the digital trade tracker if you want to kind of have a visual of your 5 trades, playing the video game across 5 trades. Now I'm looking mentally, I'm focused right here on my bonus on a Friday, so I'm happy. I got two trades, winner chicken dinner. So within my 2 winners, do I have enough to put a chicken dinner on the table? Well, $7,900 will feed a family or 2. So winner chicken dinner, I'm good there. Now I want to see, maybe a bonus. I'm mentally standard operating procedure, I want to start thinking about kind of wrapping up with a final trade. I want to just kind of nudge it over. I'm not trying to like shoot the moon here or risk my biscuit.
NQ on the 9.
Risk it on the biscuit. But we've got some working capital. And now I am mentally thinking, looking for that bonus. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Plus a bonus within 5 trades is how I approach the video game. Standard operating procedure.
Upper bands touch on the 89. Fib.NQ on the 4.
Anyone just took a ticker. Trader Joe, I'm not sure. It might be a typo there. What were you saying? Just took a tickery? What's a tickery? Or tickier? 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 Tiker?
Medium impact news event revised UOM consumer sentiment. Low impact news event revised UOM inflation expectations. Low
Good morning, my friend.
Event CV leading index month over month. Fib.NQ on the 9.
Okay, news in 1 minute.
1 minute remaining. I'll lead with the University of Michigan sentiment final.
Fib.NQ on the 9.
Okay, I'm gonna take my hands off the triggers here. Oh, good time to sip a coffee. Just called 100 ticks. Awesome. Grabbed you a 100 tick bag.
NQ on the 9.
Awesome, awesome. My first trade was right at 100. Right at 100 ticks on my first play there this morning. My second one, I'll have to roll back the tape and see how many ticks that was for trade number 2.
Two finger and bands on the 39 on the 89.
10 seconds.
Fib.NQ on the 4.
Second one about 131 ticks.
Divergence down NQ on the 49.
56 spot 4, 56 spot 4.
Okay.
Forecast 54. 1 year inflation at 4%. 4%. That's lower than forecast 4 spot 2%. 5 year at 3 spot 3%. 3 spot 3. Lower than forecast 3 spot 4%. Expectations at 57. 57. Higher than
Okay, we're in that big bull take profit zone. That's a level 13. I'm gonna toe in the water against it.
52 spot 3.
Maybe my bonus might be right here.
In the S&P
Looking for 20 bag. There's my 20. There we go. All right, there's my bonus. There it is. All right, I took it. I got my bonus. Winner, winner. Chicken dinner plus
inflation expectation.
a little bonus adding to the pot. Didn't quite get to my 10K there this morning. I was, just taking a little risk on that one. Right into my big bull take profit zone. 250 ticks. Called it almost to the tick, to the 13.5, right? A level 10 was enough to turn it there this morning. We've had 11 turn it. 13.5, I'll give that a shot. Again, I wouldn't have just taken it blindly by itself necessarily, but in the take profit zone, oftentimes we will start to see them start another accumulation. So they had their accumulation zone over here. We identified the big bull here, so he's in there. He wants to run it. We know which side he wants to go on. He wants to run it up. He needs to make 100. He needs to make 250 ticks on it before he starts pulling a bag there. He's got to convince retail to hand it to them. You see them come in on about a 13.5. So I'll grab a quick bag against the nerd, because remember, we had green, right? We were green on the nerd. So we go over these rules extensively, but if I'm going to take a play against the nerd, then I'm looking for my T1. What is my T1 on the 4s? Target 1 on the 4s for me is a 20 bag, right? Target 2 was 40. Technically out of this one, I think it would have gone a full T1 and a T2, but just barely, right? It went 50 ticks after that. So smart move to only hold it out there for a 20. Here's a PRZ cross opportunity here. Let's see if this is another bag here. I'm hearing buyers. I'm waiting for them to get off the tape first. Remember, they can play this whole zone.
On the 39. Fib.NQ on the 4.
We have a Super AO here on the 9s as well. Okay, popcorn has kind of stopped here. We're still inside the PRZ zone.
Fib.NQ on the 4.
Double dot long, HMD, double dot long right here, so it can't get short.
Divergence
on that.
NQ on the 9. Fib.NQ on the 4.
Ooh, triple dots. Almost at the top of that zone.
The Nasdaq turns higher, lost up, spot 2%.
Okay, neutral. Butterfly PRZ right up above. Okay, we're in it. Do we get an RTFA? I need to wait on. There it is. There's my RTFA. Okay, 10.8.
Upper bands touch and
Might be my 10K, or am I going to take a loss here? 10.8. Are we going to turn here? Still hearing buyers on the tape. Risky. Prior high. I see it right up there. Zeus.
Double delta NQ on the 9. Upper bands touch NQ on the 39.
King timing. We're neutral. Trying to hold for a T2 here. Is it going to let me? I saw 30. 40 ticks. Let's go. 10K on the day. Got my 10K bag. Let's go. Give me some 10K hype in the chat. 10.8 has been the pivot all morning. That's why the tuning of the AOs is important. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's go. Ah. Oh.
You got this, baby. I know it's been crazy. You don't see me, it's exhausting. City to city, cause I'm shiny, boys is popping. You keep making plans, babe, I'm sorry, I keep flopping. Call me late at night, cause I love it when we talk. No matter where I go with you, not here, it's just not home. I know I can't let go without you near me. I'm holding on your tricks, got me 10 feet off the ground. Now I'm seeing how you play. AlgoBox, you turn it all around. You tell me that you need me, then you go and show me how. Wait, you tell me that it's easy, didn't think I'd see the game you play. It's too late to miss the game. AlgoBox, it's too late. It's time to miss the game. It's too late.
Enigma short on the
Alrighty then, let's crank it down. Let's crank it down. Nothing wrong with celebrating a little bit. A lot of people act like, you know, you're when you're a pro trader, you know, trading gets boring and you don't you don't get excited about anything. You're like a robot. Shut up, dude. Shut up, Twitter trader.
4 minutes is health talks in Beijing today.
You know why Twitter traders are broke? I'll give you a hint. Nothing wrong with celebrating a win. Let's see.
PM Maloney says our willingness to
Captain Rex, you got them 100 ticks. Awesome. Grab your 100 tick bag. Not too bad. Not too bad on a Friday. Into the big bull take profit zone. We identified the big bull, did we not? We did a good job. Up to the big bull take profit zone. If you know that play, type a 1. 2 if you're new, and we might just walk it through. That is called the defense leg strategy. If you are going into our documentation, you'll want to head in there to the defense leg area if you don't know about that. So let me quickly show you guys if you are getting started with us here this weekend. Currently all documentation is available for free. This will be behind the paywall when the client portal gets released here around February the 1st. So about a week left till we get in the client portal area. Some of this stuff will be migrated to the front side of the website, you know, things like this, like what is AlgoBox, blah, blah, blah. But when you get into the actual training and documentation, if you want to know, like, what is the style that we teach, what level of quality is available through AlgoBox and the teaching in the 120-day program, how does the 40-40-40 program work and all of that, this is kind of what you'll look for. If you're looking for something, you go up here in the search section right here. So you're like, oh, I heard him say something about the defense leg. What is all that about? I can't type here this morning. Defense leg. Oh, maybe this is what he's talking about. Defense leg. Understanding the defense leg concept. Oh, okay. What's that about? Got these nice little visuals here. We do try to make things a little exciting because, I mean, listen, life is an amazing thing, right? The good Lord above has given us an opportunity to be here on earth, to go through our test of trial. He says to be grateful for the trials and tribulations, for they build up in you perseverance and strength and perfect his work in you. And life is exciting. I talked to my kids, you know, we play video games together, and I asked my kids one day, I said, if you played a video game where there were no troubles, if there were no difficulties, if there were no enemies in the game, if there were no difficulties in the game, would the game be boring? Would you want to play the game? And they were like, no, you know, you got to have, like, even Minecraft, they're like, we need mobs, we need things to battle against. It makes the game fun. I think that life is difficult. I think it's designed to be a test for us. But anyhow, I like to make things exciting. There are, when we can, you know, some things are difficult. Some things are not fun. Some things are, sometimes we're going through the trial of life. Sometimes we're going through a tribulation time. But why not have some fun while you're doing it, right? He said, rejoice in all things. Rejoice when it's hard. Rejoice when it's easy too. But the hard parts, you know, look, I got the most satisfaction out of my most difficult trade there this morning. I'll be honest. I would go back, if I were to roll back the tape right now, play, I think it was that first trade where it got a little tricky and sticky in there. And then when it worked out well, there is something about getting through difficulty that just makes it feel good. Anyhow, the way that our documentation laid out, I didn't want it to just be boring. So we did a lot to put in graphics. So if you're coming into the top area on any of our sections, the section will be laid out with some kind of cool little graphic going on there first. Then we get, you know, the boring stuff like, okay, examples, blah, 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 you know, get to the fun stuff. As we go down and we get visuals, pictures worth 1,000 words, you will learn what each of these, sorry, he's talking, got our news guy talking there as well.
Fib.NQ on the 4.
Then we've got visuals, pictures worth 1,000 words, like being able to see, oh, it's like, what are they talking about up here? Okay, get your visual here. And then at the very bottom of these, you will get videos around them as well. If you're a person who likes to go straight to the videos, hey, you can do that. Scroll to the bottom of any section, go straight to the video. So for instance, we talked about that defense leg. You want to see me kind of walk through and talk through the defense leg strategies, maybe go all the way down to learn the defense leg actual video at the bottom. So this is the way our documentation is laid out. We start out with the text and graphics and settings, and we go through all of those, and then we will get to a training video down below. Now, there's a lot to unpack in our documentation and details, but it's actually not that difficult. If you print out one of our cheat sheets, looks like one of these. So you grab a cheat sheet. These are the play setups that you saw me take there this morning. We had an HMD. I think we took HMD. We took several super AOs. We talked about alpha omega tuning, the default layout here, 5 chart layout or the 3. I did look at multiple time frames there this morning with you. I brought over a couple of those charts because mine is laid out a little bit differently here on the live streams, just for simplicity and giving you, some training and not overwhelming you with multiple charts, because some people kind of like, they want to take one chart at a time. That's fine. But when you would put it all together, reading from left to right, high time frame down to low, high time frame, we're looking for high time frame opportunities, low time frame risk entries, and then specifics around targeting. So generally we will hold to target 1, target 2, and hold to an opposing signal for the runner, and we exit on the opposing signal. That is our standard operating procedure, what we're looking to run through. But that's how our documentation is laid out. Let's talk about the full auto optimizations here this morning, and how do we pick what time frames to run the bots. Because and speaking of the bots, so I cut them off this morning when they kind of got back to break even there this morning. They had a little bit of a difficult time there this morning, so nothing contributing to the bots. In fact, negative $55. I basically just closed it out at break even there this morning. I did see it in negative territory several times. It got into positive for a little bit, and it was kind of back and forth. So when it came back to break even before all that news releasing there at 9:45 was kind of an indication that today might not be the day to run full auto. And we go through that in the training, especially around the full auto sections. Now, during the 8-day boot camp, remember, the 8-day boot camp is designed to be a crash course, get you as much information, all the information that you need, so that you can come in and use the cyborg discretionary methodology to attack the markets. Folks, I see a cave right here. I want to mark this right here. We have a cave 0 right there. So I like to mark up those, especially when we move to an area. We kind of have like 3 little deals right here. If we do come into this area, I would look for a potential entry long out of this. I know I'm not, I'm more of a bear player, but when we are up above it, we've come into, remember we had the big bull down here. They ran up to the take profit zone there. If we drop into this area, fill their orders, they could bounce back up into this area pretty quick here. So this cave would be something that I would want to look for a play. Again, I'm not just going to take this necessarily by itself. Sometimes I have. If I'm going to take a cave by itself, I will toe in the water on it. But I would want to see something else. I want to line. I would love to see a headshot in here off of our cheat sheet. If you don't know what a headshot is, definitely make sure and get through that training there this weekend and learn the headshot. Come back in on Monday, play headshots. You can, you could probably make a living just off of headshots alone. On that cheat sheet, I believe it's in the center. Yeah, see, center of the cheat sheet right there. See that headshot play? That is a multi-fib plus Elliott wave plus other stuff inside of the Fibella dot plus an RTOFA event with a cross, all lining up and landing in one location. Let me turn those money guns off there.
Fib.NQ on the 4.
Let me get to the full auto that we wanted to talk to. Let me get set up for that here. It is coffee time. So right here between 10:10 and 10:30, good time for me in general to go ahead and kind of take a stretch, take an assessment of where I'm at there on the morning. if I'm playing the video game and mentally, okay, oh, here we come. We might be coming into that cave. There's a super AO. We might bounce right there. We bounced a little bit. That's an 11.4. I don't know. They may not, with that powerful of a Ready D, they may not go straight to that cave. Let's see. Would love if that had landed in the cave. Super AO was good for 46 ticks to the upside off of that Super AO at the bottom of this zone. See if we're gonna get to that cave. Sorry, getting distracted with great play setups.
Enigma short on the
Landing here. Hey, what's up, buddy? Great to see you. Happy Friday. Thanks for dropping in. Let's see. Do the big bulls, bears always get out the same day?
Fib.NQ on the
anytime you ever use the word always, I'm just gonna say no. So don't try to speak in always, and you know everything is statistical probabilities and it depends on when they occur. I think you already know that. You know, bro. Take profit the same day, bro. I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Go watch the training videos, and if you want to hold overnight, if you're an overnight player, I never hold overnight. Like there's no need for stress and all that kind of whatnot. Plus there's rules against that if you don't know like basics of training. Look, if you don't know maintenance margins change overnight, you are dangerous to yourself. Go through the beginner course there. If you don't know that maintenance margins change overnight and you may not even have enough capital to do that, or especially if you're trading with trader funding programs, like, yeah, be careful, man. Be careful, bro. Be careful. You need to go through the training. Always and never are words that you want to avoid at just about everything in life. There's always an exception to a rule, which is why we don't talk about rules here. We talk about standard operating procedures and statistics. Oh man, I love watching all these P&Ls dropping in the chat. Oh, beautiful work. Jeremy B. Is he 100% on the day? Nice job. 2,800, 100%. One trade in and out and done. 5 clicks, looks like, or 5 fills. 5 fills, beautiful work. Plutonium, 10K. We're riding together, me and Plutonium. Look at that, 92%, very nice. Profit factor 50.7. Man, he basically had no losers on that. There's some little minor one in there on that, but beautiful. He got long side and short side. 3K to the long side, 7K on the short side. Beautiful work. If you guys got your P&L, oh man, look at this beauty. He's building up a ramp. Papa Dazer rocking it out. 14K. Anybody got more than 14K here this morning? Anybody beating out Papa Dazer? 3,900 from Mr. Whiskers. Beautiful work there. Eddie B, my right hand man, what is he doing here this morning? 3K on the day, early in, early out on a Friday from our operations specialist. Man, great work, guys and gals. I saw some folks talking about grabbing 100 tick bags there this morning as well. Thank you guys for those of you who are sharing your P&Ls. I always encourage our members to share the entire report when possible.
Enigma long on the GC.
Okay, potential reversal point right here. I would love to take a shot at this right here, but I am pretty satisfied with my day here on a Friday and don't want to be putting risk capital back on. I'm going to hold on to my 10K there, but might be a shot right here. Stop above this cross. Not going to put a whole lot onto that in the case that they want to start running. That is a big bull. Another big bull just stepped in right here. We need to mark that up now. Okay, so now we have another big bull.
Double delta NQ on the 4.
Just stepped in here.
NQ on the 39. Fib.NQ on the 4.
And a small behind it. So big and small. And let's measure at 250.
Upper bands touch NQ on the 39. Enigma long on the RTY1. Double delta NQ on the 39.
So back to kind of my point earlier. I know it's very tempting. People love to talk in absolutes. trading, there's nothing absolute in trading. Okay, so just be careful around around that. I'm gonna make this a magenta zone here because we know we have the bull and the original red zone here for them to pull. So I'm going to color this magenta now, or basically any other color, kind of combines blue and red. Some kind of
upper bands touch NQ on the 39 double delta and
purplish color. Wow, they're going straight to straight to it. Let me grab that big bull take profit zone. Control C, Control V. We got another one. Right at R1 and prior high here. Hey Brandon, happy Friday.
Fib.NQ on the 4.
600 for you, Kings Media. Well done, well done. Hey, Alpha Prime. Oh, your message was, it says your message got retracted. Alpha Prime, how are you, sir? Good morning, happy Friday.
Fib.NQ on the 4.
Good to see you. Okay, I promise I'm going to get to some training here. We're going to talk about full auto. There's just so many good play setups coming in here this morning. Big 6.8. This could be a pullback at this 6.8. It's right in front of that take profit zone, though, so be very careful. We've got a green dot right there that might shove it back up into that take profit zone up above. We are strong buy, so the nerd, all 4 correlated instruments are on the buy side, so it's going to make the any kind of short against that a little bit tricky. And big bull take profit zone still a little bit higher up above us. Now, whether I drew that perfectly or not, I mean, it may not be absolute. Did I measure it from the middle? Where's that guy? He started right here. Let me get that measure one more time. Yeah, no, that's about right.
Fib.NQ on the 4. Fib.NQ on the 9.
Germany's Chancellor Merz says the EU will defend itself against unfair trade practices. We showed this a week. We can react quickly.
So, win in a grind, do not rewind. If it's slow, it's gonna go. So, got a little bit of a slow grinder there. So, don't try to rewind it if it don't go against a grind. Okay, so even if you're tempted to try to grab that short scenario, be very, very careful on that. If it's fast, it's not gonna last. Remember those standard operating procedures. If it's fast, I can look for that blast and maybe look for a play against it, but it's a slow grind. You can just keep grinding and keep going. So be very careful of those on a grind.
Fib.NQ on the 39.
I am looking for a video. Here we go. I'm looking for.
Most people have no clue.
Okay, so this is going to come to one of the questions one of our members, Mr. What's his name? Supermoon? No, the Moon 888. There we go. You still here? To the moon. Are you still here?
Touch NQ on the 8th.
Say hi there in the chat if you are. We're gonna
NQ on the 4th.
go through and address some of your questions there from this morning on choosing when to run through some things. This is back when I was growing out my hair, so people it wasn't some personal well, I mean, I guess it was personal, but I mean, it was not a personal hygiene choice for me to go, oh, you just wanted to do long hair for a while. I donated that to a children's charity for kids with cancer, and wigs for kids donation. We had grown it out, and so if you watch my old videos, you'll see my hair growing and growing and growing. So it just reminded me, forgot what it was like having long hair, but I'd grown it out. You have to grow it out a foot or more. They prefer like 2 feet, you know, the longer the better. I think mine was like 2.5 feet, something crazy. I'd grown it down to the middle of the back to donate to the Wigs for Kids thing. But if you're wondering, like, this guy a hippie? No, but there was a time when, you know, if you watched a few years there where it grew up, I think I grew up my hair for like 3 years in there to do that donation. It was pretty crazy. It started out as a bet and a dare, and then we donated. Anyway, so it just reminded me, the hair growing out here. Okay, so strategy details. Let's get into the 2-finger area, and definitely a good video for you guys if you have not been through the full auto 2-finger salute strategy training. A lot of what is in this applies to all strategies running through the BOW methodology. What is the BOW? Remember, we talked about it this morning. BOW, B-O-W, backtest, optimize, walk forward, plus Monte Carlo, making sure that you are not curve fitting. And let's see, I wanted to show the chart component. Okay, so once we're doing analysis of our backtest and optimization, I'm not going to bore you guys with all the details of this. You guys can go and watch this video, but I wanted to get to the part answering specifically, how do I choose what time of day a system is working well? Now, this run through that I had done on crude oil, you notice that this was from crude, and so what we're looking for in these is kind of clusters of winds around. Again, this is just there's a whole thing going through this one particularly, but when we were looking for, well, what time of day would I run this on crude, I was showing how simple it is to go, let me find out statistically where is the best time to run crude oil. This is showing on this run through with the settings that we were running at that time, and you can adjust that. There's all kinds of things we talk about with adjusting parameters and a lot of details as you go through it. But when you were looking at the hourly distribution on a fully automated system, one of the main things that I like to look for, again, you can do whatever you want. At the end of the day, I'm not telling you what to do. Everything that I teach here is what I do, and if you want to pick up on what I do, great. If you adopt it, it resides with you, awesome. If it doesn't, that's okay too. So here between 6 and 7, looks like we got some a good batch here, and then I see the biggest pull around 1 o'clock. Now you could maybe think about, well, is there something that happens on certain days at certain times that might be applying to that? Well, this is a lunchtime area. Maybe this is pre 2 o'clock numbers. Like there are numbers that come out at 2 o'clock on a lot of days for crude oil, so maybe it's related to that. Who even knows? But yeah, I'm looking at the hourly distribution graph for that. This one, let's see what this was running also on crude. Well, I don't remember what I was running on this one, or maybe adjusted settings. So we made some adjustments in the settings, and we're like, now that's looking pretty good, right? I like that. Now there's some time of day that I don't want to be running it, right? We found something right here that we're like, well, maybe we don't want it. Whatever parameter settings I had run right here, I may have kind of flipped the script on that during that run, but I want to find out, well, where can I find the best settings based historically to run a certain given scenario on my system. So that distribution, let's see. Have any more? Okay, this is showing like basically making changes to your parameters for targeting and other parameter settings internal, depending on what type of strategy that you're using. This again is a simple example of using a 2-finger salute, which is still not our most powerful now. This is years ago, but if you run the same type of thing across other strategies, this is how you find it. So we go into a lot of details around all this, and again, it gets really boring through a lot of this stuff, so you really kind of have to want to nerd out to get into the full auto components of this stuff. But I think there's another distribution graph. Here we go. So I really got into this here. Sometimes you want to find a time of day where I don't want to run a strategy. So this one is pretty typical. I'm usually trying to fine tune my system so that I can be awake, because I do not recommend like turning a system on and walking away. And that's the dream for everybody. Like, oh, I just want to turn the system on. It's not, you know, I don't believe that is realistic. Even hedge funds, they do not just turn stuff on and walk away. They have guys who literally will stare at those logs, and if anything goes awry, they've got, you know, a bail button right there. It's like, I'm out, like type of scenarios there. You need to have somebody manning that to make sure that when some crazy new market condition comes about, or Trump tweets, or, you know, whatever type of scenario comes about that is, you know, unplanned or whatever, you've got to bail, because just because something has been working in the past doesn't mean it's going to work right now, type of thing. So a lot of details around that. There's a lot of people who go in depth on this stuff as well, but we want to look at this distribution graph here, and I can tell, well, maybe I don't want to run it right here at this little window. Maybe some news event comes in right at this time of day. I maybe don't want to run it right here. This looks like, yeah, there's that 10:10 to 10:30. Actually, this is part of that area where exchange of hands in this area. Maybe I don't want to run it during that time period, but this is the time distribution that report that you can pull out as you are running through your optimization process. So to answer Moon's question earlier, is there ever a time when you run it all day? Well, we're running the optimization, and you don't have to. You can tie this into only certain times a day to optimize for a certain time window of day. But if you are trying to, when you first start, you start broad, and then you start to cut your way in. So sure, when you first start, you are going to run maybe the full 24-hour day.
Divergence down.
Okay. And then within that, you will find what you're looking for is kind of a, you know, a green P&L scenario, and you're like, okay, I see a lot of green right here during whatever time window this is here, and now you might want to narrow this in. So now on your next set of runs, I want to take this and go, I want to expand this out, and let's do an optimization for that time window to find parameters, right? And then once I have found the ideal zone of time when the system by default, kind of like your best guess at your best settings for a scenario, you're like, end risk parameters that you're comfortable with, you're like, okay, now I want to optimize again for that batch of time. So you do this whole process of narrowing it down before you decide. And again, you can do it however you want. I'm just telling you how I do it with the experience that I have and how long I've been looking into this for a very long time, which feels like forever. And, you know, I don't mean to be flippant about things, but this is old hat, you know, for me. I'm kind of like, you know, I don't know. Just can't teach an old dog new tricks, right? I'm 46. I got 4 kids now. I have done my time. I have spent so much time running through backtest optimization, walk forward, but the whole process that I walk through, that's in our training videos areas. So hopefully that answers some of your questions. Any other questions around that? Type them in there in the chat if you guys want to see something else. 18K playing silver and NQ. Oh, very nice. 18,000 this morning for you. Is that what you're saying? You made 18K today? Nice job, Mermaid. Well done. Well done. Good teaching. Awesome, Lawrence. Glad you got something out of that. To the moon to answer your question. Oh, great to see you. Thanks for asking that question there this morning. Do they try for the same day? You know, I don't want to speak for the big guys. We have seen multiple times. Actually, you know, one of our members kind of actually tracks these on his chart and keeps them there all the time. Papa Dazzer, do you have any comments on what you have seen? Because he'll track these day over day. So he'll be like, oh, the big bull in there on the high. He's usually looking at higher time frames. So he's like, yeah, the big bull on the tape there from Monday that never got retouched. Looks like they came back, and you know he'll see something from Friday that started on Monday. So can it? Yes, but mostly on high time frames. So again, it depends on your time frame. Everything is still, the markets are fractal. So what time frame you're looking at, you may see some giant bull that stepped in on. Let's see if we can find one that really stands out here. So I'm going to hit page up here. and my eyes are just looking for some. There's one. Yeah, okay. So here's an example that might be day over day, okay? You see that one right there? That is a 4,000 level, no, 3,000, 2,500-ish. Let's just call this a 3,000 level bear in here, right? Clear standout here. Somebody pulled the trigger here, okay? So let's say that we mark this up. This is probably from days ago.
NQ on the 9.
So in that defense leg video, you'll see me say a phrase like, did this bear make money? Right? I will say, did he make money? That's my question. So I look to see, well, did he get his drop of 250 ticks or more after that move? Let's look. I'm looking for, you know, somewhere down here, right? I would expect 250 down here if he's making his money. Nope. It's like he made no money. Okay. Boom. Now, okay. So, well, doesn't look like he made his 250, but did they bring it back and give him a chance to get out? Yeah. Okay. No, he did. So he eventually did. Anyhow, but I will look for a bear that did not make money. Well, this guy already got cleared, right? So if I mark that one up, you know, then I look to the right. Did he ever make money? So they went against him. They brought it back, either allowed him an opportunity twice to get out right there. Let me take this off, always on top. Did they give him a chance to get out? They gave him a chance to get out here and here. They ran it up, and then eventually they brought it back down to him, and then he carried, I don't know if he got his 250 or not, so let's measure from the middle of this down to 250, right? So my question is, did he make his 250? So I put it to right, 250 be right here. Draw a white line, F6, right there. So now we scroll over to the right. Oh, barely, right? Barely, right? Bulls, bring it back up and in there. He came back down, touched him again, twice. Okay, and then there's him making his money there, right? There's his. So now did this happen on another day? Looks like it, right? This is after the close. This is 4:30 in the afternoon. So can they? Sure, I see times all the time when that occurs, but this is a higher time frame, right? So, you know, am I looking at the higher time frame for this kind of stuff? I'll mark it, but am I trying to make money off of that? I don't have to, right? I don't need that stress. I don't have to have that stress. I would like to have a low stress, maximize my time that I spend, just like anybody else in a job. If someone were to offer you, if you don't mind my asking, Moon, since you were kind of asked some of these questions, Moon, would you tell us, like, are you a full-time trader? And if you're not a full-time trader, you know, what do you do for work? What's your living? Because I'll like relate it to you. Like for me, if I were not full-time and I was in code developer and somebody said, okay, you can sit at your desk for 6 to 8 hours a day coding and you can either make $10 an hour or $150 an hour doing the same work, you know, which one would it be? There he is. Brian says, yes, there are times when big bulls, bears don't get out or take profit the same day. Yeah, definitely, right? Previously, software developer. Okay, so, you know, would you do the same work if you had two opportunities? You could get $10 an hour, but still make the same amount of money. Okay, so you're like, oh yeah, I'll make, I mean, that's the weird part about trading. It's like you could make the same amount of money holding longer, taking more risk, and all that kind of whatnot. And I mean, there's times in life where you may want to just heads down. And if you're, you want to get beat up and you want to do it the hard way, you can. Like people go camping all the time, right? Think about it. We live in these, you know, often if you live in a nice house, you got air conditioning, you got a refrigerator, but then we go camping, right? Why do we camp? Never going back. Haha, totally get you on that. Right. Yeah. Dealing with the project managers, taking your credit for all your work and everything all the time. Right. Why do we camp? Why do we go camping? Because we want the challenge, right? You're purposefully making your life harder, but that's for fun, right? When you're doing it for fun. If you had to camp all the time, is that how you want to live? So if I gave you oh, you love camping, huh? How many people love camping? Type of 1 if you're a camper. How many campers we got in here? 2 if you're like, I'm never camping ever. Like, you can't stand camping. How many campers do we have? Anybody take their families out to go camping or go camping? There we go. Rick's a camper.
Fib.NQ on the 9.
You know, we like to go camping too. I love it. But you know what's crazy is the reason I say I love it for the, there we go. Mermaid Gardener, you're with me. You know what I'm saying, right? We love to go camping. We love the challenge, and we purposefully make it harder for ourselves. But so a lot of us will say we love going camping. Yeah, because we have the convenience of, you know, putting all the stuff in the truck and driving out to, you know, someplace and, you know, roughing it, right? We call it roughing it. Oh yeah, man, going out there loving roughing it. But then if I asked you a little bit of a question, so you might camp, you know, most people camp max maybe 2-3 weeks at a time, okay? But if I said, okay, would you still love camping if I told you you had to camp for 2 and 3 years at a time? How many of you, be honest, okay, I'm asking for an honest question, would want to camp instead of like give up your house, same stuff that you get with camping gear, for 2 to 3 years camping? Live in a tent, you know, sleep on the ground, blow up your little air mattress if you got a little air mattress. But let's say like you really roughing it. No air mattresses, no, you know, like legit camping. Yeah, I like to glamp. Me too. Let's glamp. We joke about glamping. Glamorous camping, right? The easy one. Like we like running water. You know, we'll go to a campsite with electricity hookups. But yeah, it's a big nope, right? This is the like trading the open. Nope. Nah. For a short window of time, I might. So this is my point: is when you have to do this for a living, when you're planning long term, do you want to do trading the hard way? Or do you want something where you can just consistently come in, sit down at your desk, take the plays, feel comfortable and confident, not worry? Look, listen, sometimes we wake up and like, I was tired this morning. Y'all heard me. I couldn't for the life of me remember predictive potential reversal zone there this morning. I'm like, what's the other P for? Predictive. Yeah, it's like potential and predicted. They kind of go together. So, you know, like hopefully you guys gave me a little street cred on that there this morning. But I was tired this morning, right? Do you want to rely on yourself to feel right every single day? We go through trials in life. We go through difficult times, and you need a system that you can rely on. In my opinion, I want a system that I can reliably come in here and go, all right, is this thing gonna, like, let the tools do the work. Let the technology make my life easier. We do it with our refrigerators. We do it with our freezers. We do it with our air conditioners, and we go to sleep at night. We, you know, have our comforts, and, you know, we're turning on our Netflix before we go to bed. You know, this stuff that we do. Hopefully you guys are pulling out your electronic Bibles and spending some time in the Word. If you're not, hey, New Year's resolution for yourself, do one thing. I'm trying to do this, and I am posting them in the public chat. Whatever proverb, well, the proverb of the day. Today is the 23rd, so read Proverbs 23. Like, start small, start somewhere that's easy and manageable. Proverbs, there are 31 proverbs in the good book. Okay, it's right in the middle of your Bible. I think the good Lord planned that to be there in the middle for a reason. Read one proverb a day. You'd be surprised at how much wisdom you will gain from just reading one proverb a day. Okay, so today is the 23rd. Today is, I go to Bible.com and I pull up the audio. I love to listen to the audio. The Bible actually encourages us to do that. It says faith comes by hearing of the word of God. Okay, go listen in, jump in, get that training, you'll feel yourself getting smarter. You'll feel the wisdom come into you, and, you know, be wise. It makes life easier, right? And at the same time, you'll have the opportunity to make it harder. You want to go glamping after that? That's awesome. You know what I mean? But nobody wants to do it the hard way for long periods of time. Our whole goal, I think all of us in life, we're always trying to improve our lives, to be able to give ourselves the flexibility and the freedom to kind of do what we want, but also acknowledging that there will be challenges, and the difficulties are what actually make life fun. But if you need to do it for a living, that's different, right? So in my opinion, AlgoBox is the best way to do that. We do have a discipleship program. If you would like to get in on that, we're going to do the Apex Challenge in February. I'm taking the shortest month of the year. I will do the extra rules of Apex. I'm going to be running 10 accounts. I think it's going to be 10. I may throw in some funded next accounts as well. If you guys have not got into any of those, or you're thinking about it, use code AlgoBox, please. It helps out our tech support so we can keep on supporting you guys, doing all that awesome stuff there for you guys. So use code AlgoBox with Funded Next or Apex. We'll be running those in February. We'll also be running an offer there. Like if you do use our code, we're going to be creating an email address so that you guys can send your proof to. So if you send a screenshot of, hey, yeah, I used code AlgoBox, and send that to proof@algoboxpro.com, you'll be able to get a special discount offer if you are in a 2-week free trial. We'll also have, we'll reinstate those 2-week free trial offers. Those are going to be coming up. A lot of details that we'll be talking about on Monday. We didn't quite finish out the website stuff that I wanted to by Friday here, but we'll finish it up there this weekend. So on Monday, we'll have some special announcements around some discounted offers if you are in the 2-week free trial. Don't forget the Dream Pack. This right here, you don't have to have it, but if you want it, this will go back to Platinum members only here this year. So if you want to grab it, this is the last time. It is we're celebrating our 10th year anniversary out there in the public, and the Platinum Edition will go back to Platinum members only. So if you want to grab that Dream Pack, that offer is there in the announcements section area. This will be the last chance to get that Dream panel added without having to be a Platinum member. If you are looking for a discount offer or need any help or assistance, you can always call the number at the bottom of the website or schedule a call, and we are happy to chat with you. You guys have a fantastic weekend. Get through that 8-day boot camp. If you're new with us, I will see you guys on Monday. If you are doing the 8-day boot camp, remember I tell you to get 4 or 5 strategies, but you don't have to necessarily have that. Start with maybe 2 or 3. At least one, though. Come back on Monday with us and start looking for those on your sim account on Monday with us, and I think you're going to like what you see. You guys have a fantastic weekend. Blessings on you and the family. Catch you guys on Monday. See ya.
Upper bands touch NQ on the